Spots there defensively.
Yeah, we really needed John Henry to go out and throw some pitches and give us a little bit of length. And that was really the first thing. And then everybody that kind of followed in after that pitched, threw the ball pretty well. And, obviously McMillan would like to be a little sharper, but that's kind of the same time you get a power arm like that to school. That's sometimes what you get. And there's going to be days he goes out there and it's 9 pitches. And you're out, and there's going to be days like it was today, and a lot of fun watching him. I mean, he can really light it up, and excited really for everybody to get on the mound, and we did. We made him, and I thought the relay in whatever inning that was a really big play at that point in the game.
What do you think just the key of getting out of all those jams was? Obviously, the first thing that pops out to me here is left on base, New Mexico, 16.
The first one, again, you're talking about a double down the left field line with no outs, and we throw the guy out at home. And I don't think they scored in the inning. You guys, they might have scored 1, I'm not sure. But, you don't get that guy out, and there's no outs and a man on second. And good teams give yourself a chance to execute those things. It's good for us to do that, and it's good for us to do some small things today that helped us win the game that you might not be able to see on the piece of paper.
How great was it just to come out and play kind of well today, completely flush Sunday?
It was. I told him just now. It was awesome. I mean, love every one of them, and it's just good to see. I mean, it was a tough day Sunday, as you know, and at the same time, these guys are a lot more resilient than we are, us older guys, and you tend to remember things you do. And I told him now we can go celebrate a birthday.
Whose birthday?
How's that? My daughter's.
Your daughter's birthday?
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Till happy birthday. All right. What did you feel kind of was off in John Henry today? Obviously the 9 hits and the 4 walks. What
was off?
Yeah.
He was really good the first 2 innings, and then you're talking about a Team USA guy hitting leadoff, a guy that runs a 6-3 in a 2-hole, and instead you feel like he's been there 6 years. And they got some guys can hit in that lineup, and he just left some balls in the middle of the plate, and they can hit a little bit. And it didn't have so much to do with him other than maybe the stuff wasn't as good in the 3rd and 4th.
He had those 2 strikeouts to end the first inning that kind of.
Yeah, and he competed through it. I mean, you start talking about 4th inning, it could have probably been a lot worse than it was. And I thought he competed through it very well and executed some pitches.
What was, I guess, the thought process bringing him back on Tuesday after he threw? I guess he only threw 2 innings, but why did you do?
Yeah, we used to do that a lot from a standpoint of a guy has a bad outing, you want to get him back out there as soon as possible, and especially if the pitch count allows you to. And really, that was our thought as soon as the game was over Friday, and just kind of wanted to see how the weekend played out. And it's a short week, as you guys know. We play on Thursday. And so it kind of set up good for him to come back on Tuesday.
All right, everyone's dying to know because we see John Henry, Erickson, Killian. What's the plan for the week? The weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Well, right now you're really talking about it's a 90% chance of rain on Thursday in Manhattan, so we got a little time to figure it out. Now at the same time, we'll decide that and we'll announce that when the time's right. Well, it could be a serious. In this situation, it could be an advantage if somebody knew what we were planning. But right now we'll just leave it at that.
Just looking at K-State, I know they
hold your cards. Hold your cards, baby.
Just looking at K-State, they've been really competitive in a lot of their games. Whether it was last weekend or I guess before this last weekend with TCU, I think 2 of the games went to extra innings. Lost by, I think it was in the Friday game, I think they lost 5-0, but all the runs came like in the 11th. I think the Saturday game was like a 1-0 game. Even Oklahoma State this weekend, they jumped out on them with that Friday win. They've seemed to be pretty competitive in all the series that they played against, even though they haven't come out on the right end of it.
Talking about 9 teams in our league that can play baseball. It's always been that way as far as I'm concerned. And we've got a lot of respect for everybody in the league, coaches, staffs, players, and understand that you got to go earn wins. And it doesn't really matter who you play in this league. There's no easy ones. You got to go earn it.
All right. We talked a little bit about Michael Davis a couple times over the weekend, but I think he's upped his average 22 points over the weekend. Just talk about just what you think he's seeing at the plate, or why we've seen the turnaround. Of course, the run today.
Well, again, you could probably see it when we were in Norman if you knew a little bit about it. People that do, I mean, he's letting the ball travel. He's staying short to the ball. He's trying to let the ball get back there where the barrel is a little more than out front. And he might have started going to getting it a little bit out front his last at bat today, honestly. And then he got 2 strikes. Okay, I got to go back to staying in the middle of the field. And he's recognizing pitches good. And when guys stay in the middle of the field and they let it happen, it's a lot easier to hit than trying to be perfect. And,
how important was it to get that home run and get y'all a cushion so this game,
was a
couldn't
big
be
swing.
a situation like it was?
No, it was a big
Sunday.
swing. I mean, with their offense, you want to have as big a cushion as you can have. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, they've scored. Go look at some box scores of theirs. They've scored a lot of runs, and even though I think they probably think they haven't on certain days, and they have against maybe pitching that's not as good as ours, we still got a lot of respect for what they can do.
29 against UNLV kind of pops
That's a
out at you.
lot. That's a whole lot. I mean, it don't matter who's pitching. If you're throwing batting practice, that's a lot.
As far as Dylan is concerned right now, I know he's only pitched 4 innings in Big 12 play. The 3 at Texas, I'm sure, he obviously was commanding it well, and I'm sure his pitch count was okay. But it seems like you guys are really trying to pick your spots into where you can place him. You feel like he's kind of still coming along at this point, and
I think it's week to week. I mean, I think it's really like we were glad it was warm today, and we were glad he felt good today because we got him hot on Sunday in the ninth. And so for him to get in the game today and feel good after getting hot in the ninth is a plus. So that would mean what you just said is absolutely correct. He's coming on. Otherwise, he wouldn't have felt – there was a time where he wouldn't have felt like great today. That makes sense. Getting hot 2 days ago. So got a lot of confidence in him. It's good to see him get out there and throw the ball well.
How much have you got to watch Kansas State this weekend? I think you mentioned him watching one series already this year.
Yeah, I didn't catch any of the series in Stillwater. Caught more when they were playing TCU because we played earlier.
What'd you see from him when you saw him that series?
There were some good baseball games. I mean, they were like you said, they went 10 innings. Heskett's a handful on Friday. Rigler, I think, did he throw a no-hitter or a perfect game? Kid on Saturday.
I think it was a no-hitter.
Yeah. He's a nephew of a good friend of mine. You guys remember Ryan Franklin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's their nephew. And he's got some pitching background, in other words. He was tough here last year on us. So that's kind of one of those deals where, but as far as like writing stuff down on paper, what you're asking for, what I see, they're going to play hard. I mean, and you got to go earn it. It's never been easy going to Manhattan.
What y'all did today, especially at the plate?
Really good. Get it back after what happened on Sunday, and guys are swinging it and want to get after it. And I think we did really well on just having good at bats and finding holes and stuff.
What's the key for y'all to, just flush those? Because it's just back to that lighthearted atmosphere today.
I think it's you just keep that confidence, that swagger we have as a team, and just compete every day. Quality at bats. Try to be sound on defense. The pitching staff did a really good job, so it was pretty good.
All right, Michael, what pitch did you get for the home run, and what did you kind of see from that allowed you to yank it out of the park?
I was sitting on a slider my first couple at bats, and then I just kind of stayed with it and got it there and got my barrel under it and got it up there. And, just kind of stayed with my approach the entire game, and I figured they'd throw me soft, so I just stayed with it, and it worked out today.
Through the weekend and today, I think you raised your average like 20, 25 points, somewhere through there. What's just clicking right now? What's the kind of the difference that you're seeing at the plate?
Probably my approach and just trying to search for pitches instead of going after everything, and not being as aggressive in certain spots and knowing when to attack.
Orlando, how big were those relays and those outfield plays there in limiting their offense? Obviously, they swung it pretty well, double-digit hits, but those 2 plays, especially at second and at home, seemed like it really slowed them down.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I think when the outfielders are able to bring that in, all we got to do is really play catch, and that's what we do every day. So it's kind of a good thing that Cody and Grant did that. I thought they did a really good job getting it in, and Colton made a really good tag at the plate. So
They left 16 runners on base. I guess what's the kind of attitude in the infield when you have that many runners on base? You're trying to hold them there. What's kind of the attitude to try to keep so they don't get around the score?
We just want a ground ball so we can turn a double play. But besides that, it's just making sure they compete. You don't want them walking people. You're just trying to keep them up and hope they attack the hitters, because the more they attack, they hit ground balls and stuff, we got a chance to turn it every time.
I know the score probably looks a lot wider than maybe it was just based on how many runners they had on, but being able to have a win like this over New Mexico, especially like you guys had mentioned after that Sunday loss rather to Baylor. This is obviously a team you guys played in the regional last year. They can score runs with the best of them. Just to be able to get a W today.
I think it started with Mike's home run. I felt like the momentum kind of really shifted there, and then we just put some good at bats together and try to finish some innings. As far as winning every inning, I felt like we did a good job at that. We had a big inning at some point, but other than that, I feel like if we can stay good throughout the lineup 1 through 9, I think we'll be fine.
I think it was big, guys not stringing hits together and stuff like that. They didn't really allow them to get 2 or 3 or 4 hits in a row, so that really helps when they don't have balance and they can't really get anything rolling every inning.
Just being able to watch John strike out Stadjahar, it was a 98-mile-per-hour fastball. What's that like, just being able to kind of sit behind that and watch that?
It's fun. It's a lot. We always stand right behind him when he comes into games and starts throwing from behind the mound because he throws so hard. But it's fun to watch when that guy can get in there and compete like that and run it up there. I know he's still mad he hasn't hit 100, but hopefully
he's trying every time.
He's trying every time.
But
just for you guys, having been at the plate, I'm sure during the fall, especially with him on the mound. How much different are just those 4 or 5 miles per hour between somebody who's throwing 92 to 98?
It's a big difference, especially when it's a big guy like that throwing it. Once you get above 95, I think that's really touching it, and he does a really good job of just letting it go. When he's there, like the first batter, he faced 3 pitches. It's tough to hit for anybody. So he's doing a really good job.
Coach Stadlock said a minute ago that this team, the group is better at having a short memory, maybe even better than the coaches are. Where does that come from? Because it seems like the mentality that you guys have, one day, one pitch, one game, all that stuff comes from Tadlock. When he says something about you guys, where do you think that comes from?
I think last year just those guys kind of put it in us, and we've kept it going. And you kind of have to realize that once the game ends, that the result doesn't matter. You got to focus on the next one. No matter if you win or lose, if you have a good game or bad game, you have to focus on the next one, get ready to go.
Tadlock always says some quote. It says, yesterday's home run doesn't affect today's score, and I think that's a big deal just overall, So for us, we just kind of stay confident throughout. We know what we can do, and we trust our abilities and the guy next to us. So with that, it's not too hard.
Just knowing that, there was one game where I was looking at some of the results, like UNLV, they scored 29 runs. Just being able to hold them to 4. What do you guys just think that says about the effort defensively today?
I think it was just the pitching and them getting after it and kind of shutting down some guys that have been really going off. I think their 5-hole, I said 8 or 9 home runs, and he's really swinging it, and their leadoff hitter he's really dangerous. So when those guys struggle getting on base, or players like Farhat throwing him out at second, that's huge. That kind of shuts down the momentum, and it kind of might take away from what they do the rest of the game. So that helps us a lot.
Just headed to K-State this weekend. What do you guys remember about Manhattan a couple of years back?
I think
cold.
It was really cold. Tough place to play. Every Big 12 series is gonna be a dogfight, but I think we enjoyed it, right?
Yeah, Pat threw balls like 60 yards in the indoor.
That's right, he was there.
Yeah, he came with us, so that was
he's doing
fun.
his thing. Shout out to Pat.
I know it's like just a short break. You guys obviously get to come home after like 3 straight weekend road trips, but you got Oklahoma State at home, obviously down the road, and then TCU. But just being able to take care of business when you go to Manhattan, how big do you feel like that could be? momentum-wise down the stretch once you finally get back in your own ballpark?
Oh, it'll be huge. Just getting going again. Playing well up there is always tough, and I think if we can go up there and get 2 or 3 from them and come back down here and get ready to go, we'll be ready for Oklahoma State and TCU and get ready to win some more games.